There we go. Happy Wednesday, beautiful people. See y'all bright and early today. Happy Wednesday. It is July the 19th, 2023, day 78 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. Another 5-year consecutive day count. It is day 1458. Today we're picking up on page 489 in the Holy Megillah, also affectionately called the Secret Nazarite Scroll. And we're going to read these last few parables. I'm sure it's not the last few, but the last few in chapter 28 in the Holy God spell. And that's going to start with verse 951. So page 489 all the way to the end of this chapter, which would be page 494. And if we got time, I think I can read something to y'all that I'll see. I think it might, based on the title that I saw and what I was reading this morning, it might fit in. We'll see. We'll see. All right, y'all. So with that being said, Father, we thank you for the ability to grow intelligence. All right, y'all. Let's see who here. Elizabeth Weaver. Hi, Ray. Avia, first one in the building. Greetings, sis. Amanda. Shalom, shalom. Tabitha. Hey, girl. Hey, greetings to all of your family. Love and life. Audrey. Hey, girl. Hey. Look, girl, you had me cracking up. I was watching that spider video. I'm like, sis, burn the house down. It looked like me. When we found that mouse in our house some years ago, I would have put on my military boots and stuff. I got the broom. Half my head was undone. I'm looking like Martin Naji Ramba. Half my hair braided, half an afro. And I called my husband there. Oh, Lord, I tell you. I feel your pain, sis. I'm glad you got it out the door. Shayla, hey, cousin. Nazarene, the Singing Grand Rising, Family Lamb, Created Gang, Gang, peace, love, light, strength, and balance. Mom, shalom, shalom. Tiffany, hey, cousin. Hey, girl, hey, Auntie Belinda Brown. Hey, girl, hey. And everybody else here hanging out in the background. Tabitha says, shalom, beloveds. Did I click the right one? Okay, yep. It'd be jumping up and down my screen. Derek, shalom, shalom, fam. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get this started. And did I say hey to everybody else in the background? I think I just did, but I don't know. But I'll do it again. Everybody else hanging out in the background. Top of the day to you. All right, y'all. Page 489. The title of this first little story parable is entitled Yahshua and the Hindu Monk. In Benares, a Hindu man, recognizing Yahshua from a previous encounter, said to him, I heard you discourse in the market on the equality of women and men, even asserting the right of women to priesthood. And did what? You were so bold as to affirm the right of women to choose their own husbands and to divorce their husbands. You went so far as to call it a crime for a woman to be burned alive in a funeral fire of her husband. But if the woman does not end her incarnation when her husband dies, how then will she serve him in the afterlife? First of all, can we just acknowledge this screwed up way of thinking we got to go just because you went? I've been taking care of my, not saying that you went because you didn't take care of your body. I mean, any number of things could have happened. But just to say my life ends when yours end, I would almost guarantee you most women would choose not to get married, because who has the higher insurance premiums? Case in point. Let me start this all over again. Let me see what he say to this dude. And Benares, I love you, man. I do. I love you. Most of my family is men. All of them. They all came. Clearly, I had to work out something in my heart towards men. Now I love them to life. All of them. And I get fiery hot, pissy mad when I see somebody exploiting a man. Not that I don't get as mad with women, but there's this certain love I have for men now, right? Because I have 5, you might as well say 6 sons right? And I'm just like, I'll go to war with you over them. I really would. In Benares, a Hindu man, recognizing Yahshua from a previous encounter, said to him, I heard you this. Oh, and at 6 son, I was not talking about my husband. My husband is my husband. We actually have a 6th son. Okay. I know some people, I don't agree with that when people call their spouse one of their children. That's so disrespectful on so many levels. Okay, I just thought I should say that. Hey, son. Oh, okay. Because I'm like, okay. Do you still have trust? What's going on? So you're not dressed because your dad not dressed?
Yeah, all I gotta do is put a shirt on and some shoes.
Okay, yeah, but before you snap your fingers, your dad'll be fully dressed with the truck started. Like, I don't know how he does it, but he does. You're not here talking to me, he'll come running down the stairs now. What is you doing? Why you not dressed? You talking to me? Come on, go get dressed, son. In Benares, a Hindu man, recognizing Yahshua from a previous encounter, said to him, I heard you discourse in the market on the equality of women and men, even asserting the right of women to the priesthood. You were so bold as to affirm the right of women to choose their own husbands and to divorce their husbands. You went so far as to call it a crime for a woman to be burned alive in the funeral fire of her husband, like her. I just can't get over this. Like her husband is dead, and y'all burning him at the funeral, push the wife in too. What? Wait a minute. But if the woman does not end her incarnation when her husband dies, how then will she serve him in the afterlife? Yahshua replied, in Yah, the masculine and feminine principles are equal. Go ahead and highlight that. I like the way Yahshua started this off, okay? You wouldn't lose no points with me today. Okay, look. Yahshua replied, in Yah, the masculine and feminine principles are equal. Jah and Jalah are equal, as are women equal with men, every wife with her husband, and every girl with every boy. At lower levels of consciousness, less egalitarian opinions dominate the culture. I'm going to put an asterisk beside this. This is why people is ignorant. At lower levels of consciousness, less egalitarian options dominate the culture. When those opinions unjustly harm other beings, those beings are within their rights to seek redress, even if that means breaking an unjust law. Asterisk that too. And after you put an asterisk beside it, highlight it. At lower levels of consciousness, egalitarian opinions dominate the culture. When those opinions unjustly harm other beings, those beings are within their rights to seek redress, even if that means breaking an unjust law. I tell you here and now, to burn a woman alive in the funeral fire of her deceased husband is a crime before the true God and goddess. I like that in a different color, right? It is a crime against our Creator. I tell you here and now, to burn a woman alive in the funeral fire of her deceased husband is a crime before the true God and Goddess. The true servants of God and Goddess, regardless of what name they call deity, will wage war on that vile practice. Let me just point it out, just in case you haven't been here for the ride along the way. God and Goddess is not Creator, right? It's just like they're like the president of the current dispensation and time of the earth. Could be a god or goddess, right? God or goddess, male or female, and creator will all equal. Everybody will get a chance to rule. Maybe not as God or goddess of this particular world, because as the worlds develop and more worlds are developed and worlds come in and go out of existence, we have different rulers. Everybody will get a chance to rule when you get to that level, right? But they, true God and true goddess, are always in alignment with our great creator. Just remember that. So when it says God and goddess here, some people, I get messages, some people are kind of like still thrown off. Are we worshiping two deities? You misunderstand what's being said, because you've missed a lot of what we've already previously read when we've kind of went through that. BC, shalom, Elijah, peace and blessings, beloved family, eternal learner. Blessings of the day, everyone. Love and light. Tabitha said, makes one wonder where did the Hindu community got such teaching from concerning burning his wife. Probably some disgruntled husbands. It was a joke, but that could be true. Could be some disgruntled people with, I don't know, they just figured, you know what, he dead, she might be a problem. Burn her in a fire along with her dead husband. I don't know, but it does make you wonder. Drace and Righteous, shalom. Kings and Queens Coaching Group, shalom, shalom. Bronze Yoga has entered the chat. What's going on, fam? All right, y'all. Verse 959, page 489. I tell you, matter of fact, let me just do 958 again. 957. At lower levels of consciousness, less egalitarian opinions dominate the culture. When those opinions unjustly harm other beings, those beings are within their rights to seek redress, even if that means breaking an unjust law. I tell you here and now, to burn a woman alive in the funeral fire of her deceased husband is a crime before the true God and goddess. The true servants of God and goddess, regardless of what name they call deity, will wage war on that vile practice. Even so, let the war be non-violent. I say to you, be not concerned with who will serve you in the afterlife. Rather, concern yourself with serving others here and now. The next section on names of God and goddess. Verse 963. In Benares, a Hindu complained that Yahshua used foreign names for God and goddess. A lot of religions do that. We call him Jesus. I don't give a hoot nanny what you call him. I know some people get pissed with me the way I talk about Jesus. You know what? He is nothing more than what we will be in days to come if we live a righteous life. And I would like to think they all got a sense of humor, right? So it don't bother me none. People think I'm damned to hell because of some of my jokes about deities. In Benares, a Hindu complained that Yahshua used foreign names for God and goddess. Yahshua replied, it matters little what name you call God and goddess. What matters is what kind of deity you call upon. If a man calls God by the right name, but in fact worships a demon, what good is that? And lo, if a woman mispronounces a name for deity, they talking about me in that verse. I be screwing everybody's name up. They should have just put my name. And lo, if a woman mispronounces a name for deity, yet serves the true goddess and God, will not her mispronunciation be forgiven? Thank you. Keep going. I tell you truly, when a child mispronounces the name of his father, a good father is not angered. Yea, and he will answer his child regardless of the mispronunciation. I like this whole little chapter, y'all. This is dope. Like, we already knew this, but I'm just saying, it's good to see this said somewhere. I tell you truly, when a child mispronounces the name of his father, a good father is not angered. Yea, and he will answer his child regardless of the mispronunciation. If a human father is that gracious, how much more gracious is the Heavenly Father Jah by whatever name you call him? I love it. I'm serious. Highlight the whole chapter, the whole little parable. You can tell I feel some kind of way about that. I don't really care what people think sometimes, but sometimes I don't know. I just can't shake it from my mind sometimes. I just go on and make a joke about it. The next section, make goodness your chief work. Verse 970. In Benares, a man said to Yahshua, I wish I had more time to do good, but I am very busy with my work. Yahshua said, I sense your sincerity. Yet I say unto you, never be too busy to do good. Let goodness be your chief priority, and it will become your chief work. Next little parable. Just me, shalom, shalom. Just tapping in to say blessings, tapping out because duty calls. Hanging in the background, peace, love, and light. Creator is undefeated. Yes and amen. Have a wonderful day, just me. Yahshua and Yohanan in Ganga Darwa, a dialogue on ganja. After Benares, Yahshua and his best friend Yohanan visited many places in India. One of the most beautiful places they visited was Ganga Darwa. This place was known for the many sages that graced its wilderness. Many of the sages smoke a plant called ganja, which some Nazarenes eat and call Kane Bina, which means stock of wisdom. Highlight it. Okay, now the Kane Binah is QANEH-BINAH. It has reference number 8, and it's a long footnote at the bottom of page 490. And the footnote says, the Nazarenes use the same term, Kane Binah, for both hemp and its sister plant, marijuana. The Hebrew word kana means stock, and Binah means wisdom. Though some Nazarenes consume Kane Binah typically by eating it, there is no reason to think that the majority partook. Rather, the dialogue between Yohanan and Yahshua on the topic suggests that it was an esoteric minority practice in regards to its illuminative qualities, and was a medicinal occasionally prescribed by Nazarene healers for various illnesses, including internal and external tumors. Modern science validates the ancient Nazarenes' belief in the medicinal qualities of marijuana. Investigators at the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health reported that the administration of cannabinoids halts the spread of a wide range of cancers, including brain cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, skin cancer, pancreatic cancer, and lymphoma. The researchers stated cannabinoids offer potential applications as anti-tumor drugs. Researchers at the California Pace Medical Center Research Institute reported that cannabinoids offer hope of a non-toxic therapy that could treat aggressive forms of cancer without any of the painful side effects of chemotherapy. A report titled Emerging Clinical Applications for Cannabis and Cannabinoids. Write that down, or you can come back here and listen to it and go look it up. A report entitled Emerging Clinical Applications for Cannabis and Cannabinoids reviewed nearly 200 scientific trials assessing the therapeutic use of marijuana and found substantial evidence that it is helpful in the treatment of many ailments besides cancer, including Alzheimer's, diabetes, multiple sclerosis, hypertension, gastrointestinal disorders, HIV, osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, sleep apnea, and many others. And I'm gonna go ahead and read reference number 9 is ganja. Ganja, Ganjah. Ganja is the Indian word for marijuana. Okay, let's go back up. Verse 978. Yosef ben Yisrael. Shalom, fam. Shalom. Okay, page 490. Back up, verse 976. One of the most beautiful places they visited was Ganga. I keep saying Ganga, but it's spelled different, so I'm saying Ganga instead of Ganja. I'm going to just call it Ganja Darwa. This place was known for the many sages that graced its wilderness. Many of the sages smoke a plant called ganja, which some Nazarenes eat, and called Kaneh Binah, which means stock of wisdom. Yahshua and Yohanan sat in the cave near Ganja Darwa, the gate of the great river. They visited there with the sage. The sage offered Yohanan a pipe with dried ganja. Yohanan accepted the pipe, but before smoking, said to Yahshua, I smoked ganja for the first time shortly after my arrival in this land. It is the same herb that we Nazarenes call Kaneh Binah. I had many spiritual realizations and felt the presence of Jah in a very powerful way. And while still living in Jerusalem, my twin brother and I boiled Kaneh Binah leaves and ate them. We did this under the supervision of our father Ra'am, a respected Nazarene prophet. And they still do this under like the supervision of shamans, different people, different types of marijuana or mushrooms. Okay, so after Ra'am, R-A''A''M is reference to number 10. And number 10 down at the bottom says Ra'am, or it could just be Ram. I'm over enunciating. Ram means thunder. Thus, Yohanan and his twin brother Teon were referred to as the sons of thunder. Right, okay, so remember Teon means twin. Yeah, Teon means twin. Sons of thunder, not necessarily a physical biological twin, but Teon, twin in the sense of spiritual twin, enlightened, like a Christed one. Okay, that's all the way back many chapters ago when it got into a lot of detail about that. Okay, which is why when we read in the New Testament they talk about who was it, the twin, was it Thomas? Y'all know who I'm talking about. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. Okay. Verse 985. And while we were still living in Jerusalem, my twin brother and I boiled Kaneh Binah leaves and ate them. We did this under the supervision of our father Ram, a respected Nazarene prophet. In truth, my experiences with ganja have been very positive, with insights and revelations that altered my behavior for the better. Wherefore, I would enjoy partaking of this pipe, but will not if you advise otherwise. For lo, I do not want to offend you. Also, I wish to hear whatever teachings you offer in regard to Kaneh Binah. Don't we all? Yahshua replied, you, Yohanan, may make your own decision in regard to this pipe. Either way, you will not offend me, my friend. Okay. Okay. Let's hear the rest of the story though. Yahshua replied, you, Yohanan, may make your own decision in regard to this pipe. Either way, you will not offend me, my friend. I say to all who ask, be not offended by the use or non-use of this plant by others. This plant was brought to this world by heavenly cherubim. Even so, consumption of this plant is not for everyone and is not for children. Those that do not consume the illuminative variety may wear cloth made from the industrial variety and thereby receive the blessing of the cherubim. And after cherubim is reference number 11. And I've actually looked up, there is quite a few companies now that actually produce 100% hemp clothing. I have yet to order me anything because I'm just looking and reading the reviews. And it's a company. I ain't gonna say they real big, but they look bigger than some of the other ones. And they got some pretty good reviews on their stuff. So I'm like, okay, so I'm leaning more towards that company. I forget the name of it, but I went to their website looking at some of their stuff. Some of their stuff some of the stuff I just wear around the house. But some of it is actually kind of cute, but I like the feel, the texture of things. And I don't know, I want to experience and just see. Okay, so those that do not consume the illuminative variety may wear cloth made from the industrial variety and thereby receive the blessing of the cherubim. And after cherubim is reference number 11, and that is at the bottom of the previous page, which is 490. And it it says the industrial variety is hemp. Hemp was used to make clothing and other products, including the Nazarene ceremonial robe known by its Aramaic name, which is Rasta, Rasta, Rasta. Tayon, thank you. I had it right. Nazarene is saying Tayon Thomas. I'll share it. I'll share the Amazon link, and they got a website in their Amazon, whatever. I share the name of the hemp company with y'all. Like I said, it's a few of them. And it's a couple of them in Amazon, but like I said, there's one that look like it's bigger than the other ones, and they have like a little bit more variety of stuff. It really, a lot of the stuff really look like stuff for gardeners or people who farm. I'm like, what do you think we're gonna wear that at? But I'm thinking, okay, if you garden, I'll throw that on this overalls hat, just get out there or whatever. Sometimes you can just lounge around the house, and sometimes if you got good fashion sense, which I'm still working on developing that, you can throw some stuff together. Like, sis, who is your stylist? Like, right now, people ask me. I would say my 6-year-old daughter, but my 6-year-old daughter Bella got more fashion sense than I do. I'm ashamed to say, but not really so much, because I think she came in the world with that particular gift. The way at 6-year-old, the way she is at 6 years old, about fashion and putting stuff together, not just like a normal kid playing dress up, but I'm just like, wait a minute, there is something to this inside of you, little girl. All right, enough of that. Verse 997. If you partake of the illuminative variety, it should be used as a spiritual sacrament on special occasions, such as the Sabbath, or as a medicinal. My grandfather, David of Alexandria, used the plant every 7th Sabbath, which is the Great Sabbath, every 49th day. The plant undeniably has illuminative qualities and is a powerful medicinal. Yea, this plant is within the medicine bag of the Nazarene healers. The herb and its oil are used for healing of many ailments. Anoint external tumors with the oil daily, and they will often disappear. Place 1 drop per day in the mouth to heal internal tumors, but begin with drops so tiny that you can barely see them. That way, you can learn how your body experiences the oil without risking overstimulation. Behold, no medicine will cure every tumor or ailment. Behold, no medicine will cure every tumor or ailment. Yea, some illnesses will not be thwarted by any medicine. Even so, this plant is a powerful medicine and will cure or help cure many ailments. So remember, I am not a medical doctor. I am reading from this book, right? So seek medical advice from a certified professional, but make sure you always do your own research, right? Because sometimes some of the practitioners could get it wrong because they don't actually practice in the healing arts of the holistic nature. They do more of the medicinal medical pushes of drugs, right? But I'm not a medical doctor. Do your own research. Sonny Jackson, Garrett, shalom, shalom. All right, y'all, let's see. Verse 1006. Yea, some illnesses will not be thwarted by any. Even so, this plant is a powerful medicine and will cure or help many ailments. Like any medicine, it is not to be disrespected by misuse or overuse. This plant is medicine, and some need no medicine. I ain't gonna harp on it. This plant is medicine, and some need no medicine. In India and Egypt, the herb is often smoked. Nazarenes have no tradition of smoking herbs, as do the yogis of this land. The disadvantage to smoking is that you bring smoke into your lungs, which is my big thing, right? I'm not sure that I want to take fire inside of my lungs. Not that it doesn't help when you consume it that way, but I'm more of the eating type, right? If I'm a consume it, not that I haven't smoked, because I have. I ain't gonna stay here and lie and say I haven't. I have. But as I've grown older and I've learned some things, I choose not to do it that way. But if it's being smoked and I walk in and I'll take some deep breaths. Let me move on. The disadvantage to smoking is that you bring smoke into your lungs. Bringing smoke of any kind into your lungs is not without consequence. Clearly, a little smoke now and then is of less consequence than daily smoke. Daily smoke of any kind is harmful to the lungs if kept up for long duration. The Nazarene tradition is to boil and eat a few leaves. Better too little than too much, and not too often. And after not too often is reference number 12. Jamia, shalom, sis. Shalom, shalom. verse 1016 at the end is reference number 12. And 12 is a really long footnote. So here it is. It's at the bottom of page 491. The leaves and or the buds were often boiled and eaten. The buds, which are what people smoke, are so potent that if eaten in excess, will likely cause extreme nervousness and excessive energy, which is very unpleasant. Some very experienced long-term ganja eaters who have developed a high tolerance may eat one or two buds without a problem, but all others should eat only the leaf or risk experiencing excessive energy. Now, when I smoked it, like my limit, believe it or not, that's how you can tell I'm not a smoker. My limit is literally 2 puffs. Anything more than that, I'm just like, I'm antsy. I'm like, what in the world? Yeah, 2 puffs, my max. That's it. Too many leaves will do the same thing. Since the potency of each plant differs, one is advised to begin with just a couple of leaves the first time one eats from a particular plant. If the illuminative effect is not noticed, the next time one adds another leaf or two until the correct dosage is discovered. Let me read that again. Hold on. Okay. Some very experienced long-term ganja eaters who have developed a high tolerance may eat one or two buds without a problem, but all others should eat only the leaf or risk experiencing excessive energy. Too many leaves will do the same thing. Since the potency of each plant differs, one is advised to begin with just a couple of leaves the first time one eats from a particular plant. If the illuminative effect is not noticed, the next time one adds another leaf or two until the correct dosage is discovered. The correct dosage is one that causes the illuminative effect without overstimulating the nervous system. The problem with mixing the ganja leaves and brownies, as is popular in these modern times, is that you can't control the dosage very well. You don't know exactly how many leaves are in each particular brownie. The ancient Nazarenes simply boiled the leaves for about 5 minutes and ate them like spinach. Instead of boiling ganja, you may slow cook it with butter and then eat the butter. Oh, I ain't never thought about that. Instead of boiling ganja, you may slow cook it with butter and then eat the butter. This increases the potency, so be careful. One should not eat ganja and drive a car. In fact, one should only eat ganja on a day that one is able to stay at home or in nature for the several hours that the experience lasts. The experience should be used for spiritual and creative arts, praying, writing poems or songs, jotting down the creative ideas that accompany the illumination, communing with nature on a deep level, etc. It is important to note that unlike the quick high induced by smoking ganja, after eating ganja, one typically feels no effect until an hour or so afterward. It is also important to note that there are two very different main types of ganja, sativa and indica. Sativa produces the philosophical or illuminative high, whereas indica is more relaxing and less illuminative. Indica is often preferred by patients seeking relief from pain, including cancer patients, and sativa is often preferred by those seeking spiritual illumination. Let me tell you something. The first time I smoked marijuana, it was definitely sativa, because I remember it was me and my husband who was sitting out. This was a few years ago. We were sitting out on the back in our backyard, and we were swinging. And I had noticed before, we were staying in townhomes, and across the top of the townhomes, there was this orange extension cord. I don't know why nor how an orange extension cord got on the roof. Babe, you remember that? Remember we were staying over in Huston's? Remember we were sitting in the back smoking weed? And I noticed that orange extension cord going across the roof. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's an orange extension cord on the roof. It was like so bright. It was the prettiest orange. And my husband's like, babe, that extension cord has been there. I was like, as many times I looked on that roof, I ain't seen no orange extension cord. What I say? Manchester. But the colors were so bright. I'm just like, what? You about to leave out though? Yeah. I told Jeremiah we gonna snap his fingers and you gonna be fully dressed downstairs. Jeremiah! Oh, we gonna go party. It's gonna be nice and breeze. You know that. Right. We got like extra shirt uniform or something. You be sweating. That doesn't matter. You might want to sweat because it's gonna burn a lot. Who's doing shut, please? Yes, close it. Sorry, had to walk my wonderful husband. I apologize. I walked my husband to the stove. Okay, but yeah, it did it made the colors so much brighter. I'm just like, wow. And I was amazed at what it actually did to the body and how it really does. Like I actually experienced what people say when they smoke it sometimes. If you're not just smoking it to get the high or whatever, but it really did. So things were like bright. The grass was green. It was like I was seeing another world superimposed on the current world. And then when it wore off, the colors went back dull. I mean, when you look outside, the colors don't look dull. But what I saw like a heavenly brightness to like everything around, at least in nature that I saw. And that orange extension cord, somebody was stealing somebody's power or something. There had to be, because who climbs up on the roof and we had some ninjas living in that neighborhood. Like, I don't know, they was probably stealing or borrowing power. Maybe a teenager borrowing power from another teenage room. Yeah, put it through my window. But still, how they got it over the roof is, I don't know. It's beyond me at this point. Okay, hold on. Did I finish reading this? Oh no, I'm not done even reading the footnote. Sativa has a fruity taste too. You know what? I don't remember the taste of it. I just remember the vividness of everything after I smoked it. Yeah, everything 5D in effect. Sure, it wasn't a shroom. Could have been. I don't know. I just kind of trusted my husband. We had a weed man that we yeah, we had a weed man we trusted. It could have been. I don't know. Um, Leaf, stalk, stem, and bud. It's all good in moderation, balance. I agree. Um, but like I said, even after that, like that, not that day, the other day, because even my husband, he don't really smoke too much anymore or whatever. Um, but I decided I was gonna try and keep up with him that day. I don't even know why. Not that day where, was it that day? I'm trying to think later on during the day. I think it was that day. I took more than 2 puffs. That was the day that I realized I can't take any more than 2 puffs. So over like the next few days, I adjusted my dosage with the puffs just to see what it would do. I was like, yeah, I think 2 was it, babe. 2 was it. No more than 2 puffs. Puff, puff, give. Puff, puff, give. That's it. I'm done. Right? You can take the rest of that. Um, but it could have been mushroom. I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. I don't know. I'll sit here and try. I don't know. I don't know. All right, let me finish this footnote. Okay. One should not eat ganja and drive a car. In fact, one should only eat ganja on a day that one is able to stay home or in nature for the several hours that the experience lasts. The experience should be used for spiritual and creative arts, praying, writing poems or songs, jotting down the creative ideas that accompany the illumination, communing with nature on a deep level, etc. It is important to note that unlike the quick high induced by smoking ganja, after eating ganja, one typically feels no effect until an hour or so afterward. It is also important to note that there are 2 very different main types of ganja, sativa and indica. Sativa induces the philosophical or the illuminative high, whereas indica is more relaxing and less illuminative. Indica is often preferred by patients seeking relief from pain, including cancer patients, and sativa is often preferred by those seeking spiritual illumination. It is extremely important that ganja be organic. Many people who have bad reactions to ganja are actually reacting to the pesticides and fungicides sprayed on the non-organic crops. Most commercially available ganja is not organic. Got to be careful. But we did. We actually thought about opening a marijuana dispensary. Some of my family members have talked about this. Okay. Go back up. Verse 10:10. In India and Egypt, the herb is often smoked. Nazarenes have no tradition of smoking herbs, as do the yogis of this land. The disadvantage to smoking is that you bring smoke into your lungs. Bringing smoke of any kind into your lungs is not without consequence. Clearly, a little smoke now and then is of less consequence than daily smoke. Daily smoke of any kind is harmful to the lungs if kept up for long duration. The Nazarene tradition is to boil and eat a few leaves, better too little than too much, and not too often. If you consume too much at a time, you will be nervous with too much energy. That's exactly what happened to me when I realized I smoked too much. If that happens, focus your mind on a positive project. Do not make the same mistake again. I surely did it. What I had to do, I got on the treadmill. I look like a fool on the treadmill. I'm like, babe, don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Wait a minute. Make sure I fall off this thing. I was like, it's too much. If that happens, oh boy. If that happens, focus your mind on a positive project. Do not make the same mistake again. Always err on the side of caution with this and all other medicines. Too little is better than too much. Know this: before the herb places you in the presence of Jaja, you must have a clean conscience. That's good. Okay. Always err on the side of caution with this and all other medicines. Too little is better than too much. Know this: before the herb places you in the presence of Jaja, you must have a clean conscience. Until then, you will feel afraid to stand before the throne of I am within. Oh, look, I ain't get that far yet. I ain't get that far yet. Never smoke anything. Who knows? I might try one day. Tabitha. You in Trinidad? You ain't never smoked no weed? Until then, you will feel afraid to stand before the throne of I am within. The presence of Jaja is always here and now, but guilt and inner trauma keep one in bondage to the unresolved past. That's good. I like that with a different color. Wherefore, if you use ganja, stand ready to acknowledge your past mistakes and accept forgiveness for whatever is causing uneasy feelings of guilt. And I've noticed this a lot with people who do shrooms, right? Whether they're doing it under the guidance of a shaman, a holistic doctor, practitioner, or whatever, they always have these emotional experiences. You know, even my brother recently, he was telling me, because he recently did it, and so he was telling me about his experience. I haven't done, at least I don't think I haven't. I'll say I haven't. It was just weed, but I have not done shrooms yet. We may. We may. Me and my husband talked about it. Darn it! I thought I was gonna finish this chapter today. All right, so hold on. Oh, we still may. Let me finish this. We literally got like a page and a half. Let me quote my stories. Okay, listen. The presence of Jaja is always here and now, but guilt and inner trauma keep one in bondage to the unresolved past. Wherefore, if you use ganja, stand ready to acknowledge your past mistakes and accept forgiveness for whatever is causing uneasy feelings of guilt. The key is to know that Jaja forgives everything that you sincerely regret having done in your past. As those uncomfortable things come to your awareness, bathe them in understanding and forgiveness. Do not dwell upon those things, but instead forgive them and move on toward illumination in the divine presence. Jaja knows the mistakes of every being and will forgive anything that you sincerely regret. Do not stay stuck in a feeling of regret. Rather, acknowledge your regret, accept forgiveness, and then move on to experience the magic of the present moment. For lo, the magic of ganja is simply that it is, I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. For the magic of ganja is simply that it assists you to be deeply in the here and now, and that is where magic lives. That's beautiful. For lo, the magic of ganja is simply that it assists you to be deeply in the here and now, and that is where magic lives. Guilt keeps you stuck in the regurgitation of past experiences that you have not inwardly resolved. Ganja seeks to open you to the here and now. That is really all it does. All of the illumination you experience with or without the aid of ganja are in the here and now. But to experience the here and now, you must first confront the ghosts of your mind that seek to keep you bound in chains of guilt. Which is why, now that I'm reading through this, now you know how people, they do shrooms, or yeah, they do shrooms or marijuana sometimes, just depend. They could have, like they said, got a hold of some inorganic pesticides or whatever, or they haven't gone through that process of cleansing themselves and they have a bad trip. It's literally their consciousness is like really, it's like really coming to the forefront. Matter of fact, somebody who talks about their experience in vivid detail is Yahshua. Y'all may have heard him when he did shrooms. This is recently. Yeah, recently this year. when he talked about it was a couple months ago. I forget the title of the video, but also when he was on, I know some of y'all feel some type of way about Tasha K, her gospel YouTube channel. But when he was up there, that was, and I shared that was actually one of the better segments that she had when Yahshua was up there, and he actually explained a little bit of that when he had that trip when he did shrooms up there. But listening to that on what happens in his conscience and some of the things he was doing inwardly and in the dark that wasn't right, he was just outright and truthful about those things. I was like, much respect. Most people wouldn't even share that type of stuff with you. But he just talked about how it really made him see who he was inwardly. Even though people saw him as one way outside, it really brought his inner everything to the forefront, and it caused him to change. He did some major repenting in his life and just really making himself a better person, cleansing his self and all that good stuff. That was really good. I'll see if I can find it. I should be able to find it, and I'll share it again. Asthma was my problem as a child. Smoke makes me cough really bad. I have a nephew who he had asthma really bad. He started smoking marijuana. Matter of fact, he still smokes marijuana, and he hasn't had an asthma attack in years. Shrooms are better than ganja. Jamil said, "Eat it, eat it, Tabitha." I'm with Jamil. Eat it, or use it as incense in a room. Okay. All of the illuminations you experience with or without the aid of ganja are in the here and now. But to experience the here and now, you must first confront the ghosts of your mind that keep you bound in chains of guilt. If a healer gives a person ganja, these things should be explained. And if it be their first experience, the healer should be with them throughout. The healer's explanation should emphasize the supremacy of forgiveness and the importance of dwelling on the positive throughout the experience, which is what the shamans do when you do it with them, or somebody that's trained to walk you through that first experience. After accepting forgiveness, focus the mind on a positive created work in the here and now. Those who do not feel ready to deal with whatever might come up should avoid this medicine, as should persons with extreme anxiety. The cleaner the conscience, the more joyful is a person's experience with ganja. A person with a clean conscience on ganja will experience the magic of the deep here and now where Jaja is, without having to first process uncomfortable past experiences. Such persons find ganja to be extremely joyful and illuminating. Maybe I should take it up. Like, I'm just this bubbling brook of joy, right? And I try to deal daily with my inner stuff, right? I think I've progressed over the years a lot. Such persons find ganja to be extremely joyful and illuminative. But also know this: those who consume ganja every day often build up a tolerance to the illuminative qualities and become lethargic. And I've seen this a lot as well. It is also true that each person is unique. Some can handle a more frequent usage than others. Some should not use ganja at all. As in all things, listen to your body and err on the side of caution, and always respect the rights of others to make their own choice. I love that. Johanna replied, "Usually I would eat the herb, not smoke it. For lo, even before your words, the angel of air so cautioned me. My twin brother, Tayom, and I perceive that the illuminative quality of the herb is greatly diminished if we partake too often." And after Tayom appeared, is reference number 13. And 13 says, Tayom means one of a set of twins and is pronounced Ta'om. It is related to the word Tomim, which means something doubled thus, twins. Both words Tayom and Tomim also carry the sense of completeness and duplicated, which figures in the use of words by the Nazarenes to indicate a level of initiation called twinship in Christ, not like in Jesus Christ, but in the Christed family, being one who has become a king or a queen of seven, meaning you have mastered, you have aligned and opened up all your chakras, and heavenly wisdom pours into you, and you can literally begin to do and pull things from the ether, with which other people would think you were supernatural. You literally become a Christed one into the Christed family. So some people, when they hear that, they just think church, body of Christ. They are such at low levels of understanding of what that truly means, and it is not that. Okay. Yohanan replied, and we almost there, y'all. It's the last few verses. Yohanan replied, usually I will eat the herb, not smoke it, for lo, even before your words, the angel of air so cautioned me. My twin brother Tayom and I perceive that the illuminative quality of the herb is greatly diminished if we partake too often. This time, however, I will share the offered pipe of our host. The sage who had offered the pipe to Yohanan said to Yahshua, if you wish, I can boil you some leaves according to the custom of the Nazarenes. Yahshua replied, ganja is a good medicine, but I am in no need of medicine, and I am illuminated without the assistance of the herb. And that is my main goal, right? I am the candle. G. I may use it in passing, but for the rest of my life, absolutely not. That is not where I want to go. I want to be able to manipulate all the elements and bring the magic out and in myself naturally, right? Yahshua replied, ganja is a good medicine, but I am in no need of medicine, and I am illuminated without the assistance of the herb. Yea, I stand before you deeply in the here and now, and in the presence of Jaja, now and forever. Amen. Even so, I carry ganja in my medicine bag for the benefit of those in need of its help. But I thank you for your hospitality. You are indeed a gracious host. The Aleph and the forest of the Ganja Dara. Maybe this is the last page. Hold on. This is the last page. It has two more little short stories. I'm gonna just go ahead and read them because it's literally on a few more verses. The Aleph in the forest of Ganja Dara. Verse 1059. In the forest of Ganja Dara, Yahshua and Yohanan swam in a lake. Afterward, they ate fruit that fell from the trees. Yohanan said, the forest of Ganja Dara is enchanting. It feels magical. I expect in this forest to meet an Aleph. Yahshua replied, look behind you. Yohanan turned and saw an Aleph approaching. Yahshua said, we often get what we expect. And that's that. And then the last one is Yahshua and Yohanan intervene at a funeral. In the countryside outside Benares, upon their return from Ganja Dara, Yahshua and Yohanan came upon a funeral party. Behold, a young woman, just widowed, was being forcibly dragged to be burned. See, here they go, burning the women at the husband's funeral fire. Behold, a young woman, just widowed, was being forcibly dragged to be burned upon the funeral fire of her deceased husband. Lo, Yohanan said to Yahshua, let us intervene on her behalf. Yahshua replied, Yohanan, your courage is one of the reasons why I proudly call you my best friend. Yes, let us intervene immediately. Then Yahshua and Yohanan ran to the fire and pulled the woman from the grasp of the men, attempting to burn her. Neither Yahshua nor Yohanan said a word. They simply grabbed the woman and walked away, leaving the funeral attendees in shocked amazement. After Yahshua and Yohanan disappeared into the woods with the young woman, the men who wanted to burn her said to one another, those two foreigners are too big and strong for us old men to fight. Wherefore, let us raise a posse to give chase. Yahshua and Yohanan said, these dudes is too big. Who would ever thought of Yahshua as this big dude? I mean, the way we get the story sometime in church, we just don't think that. We think like he's this little petite, frail person that calls on the name of the Father. I'm just like, no. It said Jesus and John is too big. We need a posse to take them brothers down. Yahshua and Yohanan with the young woman escaped to the Nazarene encampment outside of Benares. The overseeing priestess of the encampment, 19Jul2023, said to Yahshua and Yohanan, "Each of you have fulfilled your time here. Leave now before they slay you." The young woman begged to go with them, saying, "If I stay here, I will be burned." 19Jul2023 gave her blessing, and the three departed the next morning. They traveled together to Yohanan's home in Jerusalem. On the journey to Jerusalem, Yohanan said to the young woman, whose name was Sita, fell deeply in love. And after Sita is reference number 14, and 14 on the previous page, 493, says Sita, Sita, means fertile garden. On the journey to Jerusalem, Yohanan and the young woman, whose name was Sita, fell deeply in love. At a Nazarene home in Jerusalem, Yohanan and Sita were wed. After the wedding, Yahshua went to the mount in the wilderness. Yea, the time had come for Yahshua to minister unto Yisrael and Yisrael, but he felt called to first have a deep Sabbath rest upon the mount. After the rest, he would journey unto Mount Carmel to commune with his relatives and certain elders. Then he would travel south unto Halajah Ford to meet with the Magdalene. And that is the end of chapter 28. Man, I feel like we've been in chapter 28 for like 2 weeks. All right, y'all. So that is it. And that was 1,087 verses. Nevertheless, it was really, really good. But we're going to end it here. I thought I'd be finished with that way before that, but I wanted to go ahead and finish this chapter. Not 4. Okay, yeah, I wrote that down right. All right, beautiful people. Thank y'all for hanging out today. It is Wednesday, July the 19th, 2023, day 78 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets, and of the 5-year consecutive day count. It is day 1458. We read the rest of chapter 28 in the Holy God Spell found in the Holy Megillah, also called the Secret Nazarite Scroll by Nazarites, pages 489 to 484, which were the last verses, starting at 951 to 1087. And Father, today we thank you for a deeper understanding on ganja, right? Yeah, I thought it was really, really good. So thank you for that. Enlightenment on ganja. All right, beautiful people. That is it for today. Let's see. Where can I find what you are reading? You talking about the whole book? The whole Megillah? If this is what you're talking about, you have to order it now, either over the phone. They took the website down. I got the number. I'll repost it today. I'll post it in the comment section here after I'm done with the video, and I also put it in the community section and the information where you can call. You can mail in the order form. I have the address and everything, or you can call. You can call them. What days was it, y'all? Either Monday morning or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's like when they're in a bookstore. It's the Lighthouse Bookstore. But yeah, matter of fact, let me see. I think I got it saved right here where I can just put it in the chat real quick. Just in case. Hold on, let me see. Lighthouse. Yep. Lighthouse Spiritual Bookstore. Okay. And I'll still put it in the comments section. You're welcome. Hold on. It's going to be a couple posts. Let me get the rest of this. I can only put so many characters. That's the title of it. When you call, because they have what I'm reading from, it's not two versions. It's the first version and it's the more updated version. Ask for the more updated version because it has the extra 200 translated pages. And this is not even all. They still have more scrolls that is currently with this group of translators that they're currently translating. So I think when maybe every 200 pages or so, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but when they get a bulk of it translated, they'll update it and release the new update. Apparently it's a lot of the scroll left that hasn't been translated, and nobody else nobody else that I know has it, or if they have it, they're not translating it. Of course, with the exception there is this debate that the elders in Kenya have, where they're saying they have a more authentic version, but they've also read through this and they said this is a good version for people to read, but they're also translating what they have, but they haven't released that yet. So we'll see. I'm super excited to see what they release and how they translate some of the stuff. But that is the number, the address. If I got this book, do I have to start from the beginning through, or can I start in any page? I would recommend, I mean, if you read with us, I mean, feel free to hop in right where we at. But normally when you get a book, I mean, I would just follow what you normally do when you get a book. Just start it at the beginning, right? I don't, that's my thought now on all books. Start at the beginning, right? Because there's a process and an understanding that builds up as you read through. So if you get it, like some people tell you when you read the Bible, yeah, start the New Testament, start in the book of John. Like, why? What about all the rest of it? Because if you allow some people to teach you that, what happens is this certain type of mindset creeps in before you lay a proper foundation. And now by starting it this way, where the church tell you to start here, we'll tell you about the previous history and build you up. No, because if you start at the beginning, you will begin to see that what the church is teaching you is something completely different from what the Bible actually says. And that's foolery and magic in itself to me. And it but when you read it from the beginning, there's so many things you begin to uncover as you read through it. And then when you get to the New Testament, a lot of these things, that these sermons that they pull out and all of this stuff is going to really, you're going to be able to see it for what it is. Some of it is complete foolery, Now they can pull good lessons out and teach you from it. I mean, I've been there, done it, and I was able to grow. But what I'm saying, you get a deeper understanding, you grow better, right? You grow better, and then you won't find yourself locked into religion if you actually start at the beginning. Lay the proper foundation and go through that. So that's what I would say. If you get it, yes, start from the beginning. But you don't have to do what I say. It's your choice. You can hop around from chapter to chapter, back to the front to the back. But it is my personal experience that if I start from the beginning and just go all the way through, I have a better experience with reading and understanding what's actually before me. So I would say start at the beginning. Or you can choose to start it whatever. The choice is yours, is what I'm saying. The choice is yours. All right. The address I had, I think I have it in another. I thought it was all here. Let me scroll down. Fair use. Nope. I have to pull up my other one. I give you the address if you want to. Well, it's a part of the order form. If you're in a private group, what I do, if you're not in a private group, you won't be able to see it. But that's the only place that I put the order form, and the order form has all the information. The address if you want to mail it in, your check or money order, whatever, it's all there. But I'll copy that address and I'll also put that in there. You're welcome, Ray. All right, so that's it, y'all. Let me just double check, make sure it wasn't another question. All right, y'all. Oh, hold on, sis. I was reading what Jamil was saying about smoking too much and their dreams stop. And everything is just black. Yep, they stop. They stop remembering dreams too. They just remember black. That's for those who overuse it, talking about ganja, marijuana. That's for those who overuse it multiple times a day. As soon as they stop, their dreams return. That's interesting. Yeah, see, I don't need that happening because I am a dreamer. I ain't gonna say that's my gift, but that from ever since I was younger, that particular gift has been very prominent in me. I don't need my dreams to stop. That's like our saving grace and warning. I've learned how to kind of calculate my dreams and understand them for the most part here at 44 years old. But yeah, dreams and visions, I don't need those to stop in my life. Make them a little brighter, illuminate them a little bit more. But all right, y'all. I'm new to this book as well. I've been catching up with Pam previous videos and then following along with the book. Oh, okay. Eternal Learner. Oh, I don't know why I still thought this was Ray talking. This Eternal Learner talking to Ray, which is Elizabeth Weaver. Okay. All right, y'all. That's it. Let's get out of here. I'm over the time today, but I wanted to finish this. I had a few minutes. So let's get out of here. I love y'all. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
But I see through you.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gold, I've been far away. I'm illuminated now, making
What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea. With a little honey.
What just happened?
For a moment, you entered the astral dimension.
What?
A place where the soul exists apart from the body.
Why are you doing this to me?
To show you just how much you don't know. Open your eye.
been dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
What's happening? This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real, this is...
Dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cold sign.
His heart rate is getting dangerously high.
He looks all right to me. You think that this material universe is all there is?
I don't need gravity, I don't need
What mysteries lie beyond the reach of your senses? Existence, mind and matter meet. Thoughts shape reality.
I don't need gravity, I just need gold. Of this illusion, I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Some benevolent and life-giving, filled with malice and hunger. Dark places where powers older than time and waiting.
I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Who are you in this vast multiverse?
I don't need gravity, I just need gold. I don't need gravity, I just need gold.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
I don't need gravity, I just need gold.
Teach me.
No.
It's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.